Hey guys, we're coming at you with part 2 of answers to survey questions. So we had a community survey. Most of you took it, and now we're responding to some of those questions.
Video 1 will be linked down below. You can check that out.
And there might even be a video 3. We're not sure how many we're going to get through. How has your perspective on beginning a keto diet changed over the years?
I hadn't changed my mindset over from low calorie, high protein, low fat fully. So I was still doing high protein, low carb, and maybe even low moderate fat. So I was definitely not eating enough. I was hungry, but I was depriving myself, and I was going more for the sweet treats. So I was doing 2 Quest bars a day, and then 1 meal of chicken breasts and broccoli with a little butter. And that was a solid day of food for me. It speaks to how my mindset was before starting keto. I would definitely go back in time if I could and focus on keeping my carbs low as my main component, and then just not restricting myself in terms of calories for proteins and fats. That would be my biggest change, eating as much as I want until I feel satiated and fully adapted.
So I think my perspective on beginning a keto diet, the advice I would give to someone starting, hasn't changed too much. But my personal perspective on nutrition and just diet in general has changed. Keep your carbs low. Mostly whole foods if at all possible, but it's not possible for everyone, and eat until you're full. Don't worry too much about calories. You're already trying to do a lot, and I think worrying too much about calories at the very start puts you just in the diet mindset of trying to lose weight as quick as possible and not as much in a long-term sustainability, eating healthy foods type of mindset. Should I transition from keto to paleo once I'm done losing weight? Doctor says keto is bad long-term, but that doesn't really make sense to me. The doctor is making things up because there is no evidence of keto not being good long-term.
Well, as opposed to saying that, I would say, have you questioned your doctor? Have you been what is so bad about it? Do you have research pointing to how it'll be negative long-term or detrimental to my health? So always ask questions, even if it's a coworker, figure out where they're coming from.
To me, just a big red flag of people in general is people who definitively know answers to things they don't actually know. So I have a lot of people that I trust for a lot of things, and then one day, maybe they write a blog post or they make a video on something I know a lot about, and they're just wrong, but they're acting like they know, and then I just question everything they're telling me from then on. Question your doctor for sure. Once you get to your goal weight, your ideal weight, you have more liberty to play around with whatever you want to do. What makes you feel good? Maybe a little bit of enjoyment works its way in there, foods for enjoyment.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be paleo, right? So in your mind, it sounds like maybe paleo is better than keto.
You don't have to have a label on it.
You can up your carbs though, for sure. It sounds like that's a part of what you're thinking. Maybe lower your fat, change the types of foods you're eating, play around with it. Yeah, you have that freedom. Experiment, have fun with it.
So to me, keto is a subset of paleo. It's not 100% crossover because there's some things that are technically keto friendly that are not part of a paleo diet. There's also some foods that are part of a paleo diet that are healthy and probably net positive foods that you don't eat on a keto diet. So maybe you could make more room for those. But I think as far as you're under the category of ancestral eating, you're doing 99% of things right. So it could be paleo, it could be keto, essentially the elimination of processed modern foods. Why are cravings for carbs so intense in the evenings after fasting all day and having a low-carb dinner? I can't stop feasting on garbage after breaking the 18-6 fast.
So it sounds like you've built up a habit of this. And that's
Yes.
a big part of the draw to fast all day.
The next day.
Yeah, well, fast all day, have my low carb meal, and then it's I normally do eat garbage, so I guess I'll do that again tonight.
Well, I think it's that, but then the fact that you had garbage last night makes you, and garbage is not a word I usually use, but you used it. So then the next day you're like, oh man, I had garbage last night. Now I gotta up my fast. I gotta get back on the fasting regimen. I think just breaking that cycle, and the best way to break the cycle is to have your garbage and then the next morning have breakfast, a keto breakfast. It's counterintuitive. It's not what you want to do because you want to punish yourself for having garbage. But really you should just break the cycle, stay ahead of the hunger. As you wear on throughout the day, your willpower is diminished. So in the morning, it's easy to do things. So for you, it's probably easy not to eat. For a lot of people, it's easy not to eat. As you go on through the day, all these decisions start chipping away at your willpower. You'll have none left by after dinner. Right. So therefore, you eat garbage. I'm saying garbage so much now. My advice would be not to fast, not to do all this stuff that leads you towards eating garbage.
Or push your fasting window to after dinner. Eat earlier and then just cut it off there, and that prevents you from snacking altogether. You know, you can still watch your shows, relax with your family, but you're just not including the food. Because food doesn't have to be a part of everything you do, right?
I don't think fasting is advisable if you have any kind of lack of control over your eating. If you are 100% like, I'm only eating the foods I set out to eat on a daily basis, then you're ready to fast. Like, I'm not even at that point, right? How do you maintain positive energy?
That's it?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't always maintain positive energy.
No. I think the best tool for maintaining positive energy is identifying when you lack positive energy and quickly correcting it.
I can also acknowledge that I'm, in a crappy mood or I'm acting a certain way, but still just refuse to become positive.
Acknowledging it is step one, though.
Working out has been a big contributor to having a positive mood. So like I wake up and the first thing I do is work out. I set the tone for the day and I'm like, hey, I already got 5,000 steps under my belt, or a great back workout. Nothing else can bring me down today. The positive mindset through positive actions.
Who are your fave keto YouTubers? A lot of people ask us this. I don't think we've ever answered. I don't like to answer because you guys have your favorites, and it's not like any kind of attack on your guys' favorites. These are just mine and maybe Mega's.
I've never watched YouTube before we had a YouTube channel, and even then, my YouTube watching has not gone up at all. That's not where
It's gone up a little.
It hasn't gone up in watching keto YouTubers. I started watching cheat days and days of eating of non-keto people. That's my interest. I love watching people eat.
I watch mostly not keto stuff too. Hip hop, sports, politics I watch a little bit too, which I obviously can't tell you guys or you'd hate me.
I think our consensus though is Mike Mutzel.
Long form interviews, those are great. And he just knows everything. So I like listening to him. Chris Masterjohn, because when I go to him, I just know that he knows what's up. He's very smart. One of the people I trust the most about nutrition. I keep tabs on certain people that just have more entertaining videos. I don't really go for the info. I go for the entertainment. Like Tristan, Primal Edge Health. He's funny. He attacks vegans and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Watch Adam Keto. I'll go through spurts of watching her days of eating. She does sing-alongs and stuff.
Even though some keto foods contain questionable ingredients, would you say they are still all right to eat as long as it doesn't kick you out of ketosis? I think the obsession with being in or out of ketosis is way overblown, and it almost doesn't matter. What matters more is working on your body's muscle of using fat for fuel and how good it is at that, which is accomplished by being in ketosis for long periods of time, of course, but momentarily, hourly, daily being out of ketosis isn't a huge setback.
So if those questionable ingredients, and I don't know what you're specifically saying, if those don't make you feel that bad and they're in a snack or, in a packaged product that you like to consume that helps you stay on track, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I would say your prioritization, though, is exactly backwards. You're worrying more about being in ketosis and less about questionable ingredients. The point of diet is to eat as much good foods and as little bad foods as possible, not be in ketosis.
Yeah, right? And get away with the bad foods.
Yeah. So I would just switch the thinking. Then I just got some random one, some that stood out to me. Walmart's Stir organic peanut butter seems sketchy.
There's Stir peanut butter?
And I guess maybe the point of why I wrote this one down is because what's in it is listed on the back. Seems sketchy. Yeah, so this contains dry roasted peanuts and sea salt. So
not sketchy at all.
Not sketchy.
That's just peanut butter. What is sketchy about that? If you wrote that comment below and let us know what's sketchy to you.
I have a plan to quit ketogenic diet if I reach my weight loss goal.
Okay.
Is this going to make me gain all the weight back? Question that I ask myself every day.
You ask that every day to yourself. Okay, so this is a burning question.
What makes you gain and lose weight is calories. So if you're eating at a caloric surplus, you're going to gain the weight back. So if you revert back to your old diet, which likely is what caused you to gain weight, it is what caused you to gain weight,
yeah,
then you're going to probably gain weight unless your eating habits have changed. So you just eat less. But the whole idea behind a keto diet is You don't have to just consciously eat less. It helps you automatically eat the right amount of food. When you go away from a keto diet, if you increase your calories, then you will gain weight. And you will gain a little bit of weight back just by eating carbs, like you'll hold more water, maybe like 5 pounds. But you have this tool. If you've lost all this weight to get back to a healthy body weight, you can always go back to doing keto.
And honestly, it's not something I would put so much focus or stress on. It seems like you really do that. When it comes time for you to make the ultimate decision and you hit your goal and you feel really good, you might not even feel ready to get off the keto diet.
All right, guys, that's the video. Those are your most pressing questions. What do you think? Do you disagree with any of our answers? These are all just our opinions.
Yes.
The links to all the other survey question and answers will be in the description of this video. You can check out those as well if you want to see us answer more questions.
See you soon.